Losing your hair during chemo for cancer is devastating for many patients, but a new device from Europe is designed to help prevent it. This is what the cold cap looks like. Alayna and Alanya Riozzi-Bodine launched a new foundation to help patients get access to it. Alayna talks about the months before she was diagnosed.
2 weeks before I was diagnosed, I was competing in the USA National Championship Triathlon. I trained all summer for that. I trained so hard, but I just felt so depleted. I felt something was like really wrong, but I couldn't get over it. I had a race to do and I just pushed and I persevered through it and I finished my race. I was kind of upset. I didn't do as good as I wanted to, but for obvious reasons. I had cancer and I found my cancer 2 weeks after that race.
But while running that triathlon, yes, you had no idea what was going on in your body.
No, no idea.
Elaine, were you surprised she was able to complete it and do it?
Absolutely. I mean, during the summer, she was also lifeguarding. She's a beach lifeguard as well. So she'd be getting up, training for the triathlon, working a full day on the beach, then going to a 2-hour volleyball practice at school. So when she was complaining of being tired, we just assumed, well, hello, who wouldn't be?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and the fact that now that we look back, the fact that she crossed that finish line, it's just unbelievable. I don't know how she did it.
I don't know how she did it either. What prompted you all to go to the doctor?
So it was actually the night before my senior year started, and I noticed a fairly big lump right here on my collarbone. And I asked my mom, I was like, what is this, Mom? I wasn't even thinking cancer. I was thinking, oh, I don't even have to get this removed. Like, I don't want a scar. And it just spiraled out of control.
Did that lump appear overnight or had it been there a while?
Looking back at pictures, I don't know how I did not notice it, but it was there for at least 2 to 3 months before I noticed it.
2 to 3 months?
Yes.
And during that entire time, you were tired?
Yeah. So my journey started right when we found the lump. I didn't get to attend a full week of school. It was my first weeks of school as a senior in high school, didn't even get to attend a full week yet. And I was just in and out of doctors. And ultimately what took me into emergency surgery was finding a mass in my chest as well through an x-ray.
Wait, another mass?
Yes, in my chest.
Oh,
That categorized me as stage 2. The mass was about this big in my chest.
Whoa.
They said about the size of a lacrosse ball. So they removed the one lump, which was about the size of a golf ball, and they described it as a string of pearls. So there was multiple lumps, lymph nodes basically, that spiraled down into the chest area and settling into a mass in the chest.
Let's review this. So she had one up here near your neck area,
Yes.
one here in your chest.
Well, it spiraled down.
Oh, it spiraled down, okay.
So there was multiple going on, almost like a string of pearls. So there was multiple lumps traveling down into the chest area.
What kind of pain were you experiencing? Any?
No.
Well, you were heavy.
Well,
she kept on
yes.
saying she couldn't get a breath, but again, she was just doing so much with the triathlon and everything. She just felt like maybe she was overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
Were the doctors surprised when you told them you'd run a triathlon?
Yes, they were. They were very surprised. I think it was the first triathlete they've ever treated. Yeah, so they were very surprised to hear that I was doing all of this while battling cancer and not knowing.
I'm just amazed. When you first heard the news and got the diagnosis, Elaine, as her mother, your heart must have sunk. My child has cancer.
It's devastating. I don't think any parent is ever prepared.
I don't think so either. I'm crying with you.
But I promised her in the doctor's office when we were given the diagnosis, I asked the doctors to leave. And of course my first was, I wish it was me. And then we spoke and I promised her, I said, Alayna, I will do everything in my power to make this as easy as possible for you. And then the next thing she asked me for was, she looked at me and she said, well, so does this mean I get my puppy now?
Oh. Don't you love the way they blackmail you? Did you get it?
Yes,
Of
I
course,
did.
What kind of puppy?
course.
A Maltipoo, and I already had the name picked out, and it was Daisy.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the first things that I thought of when I got diagnosed was, obviously, am I going to live? And also, am I going to lose all my hair? Now, the first hospital that I went to, they told us about something that they were using, and it was called the cold cap. And this is a device that cools down the hair follicles on your scalp so that the chemo medication cannot go in and attack the hair cells, causing your hair to fall out. And I knew that this was something that I definitely wanted to try and have the option to try. And
if I don't mind to interrupt, but also we're sitting there when we were again told, when I asked the question, will she lose her hair? The doctor looked at me and said, absolutely. And usually by the second round of chemo, it's gone.
That has to be devastating for an adult, a young person, anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, this is her senior year of high school, the pinnacle of hair, up to now, right? For a high school senior, that's the pinnacle of their school years. And to think, I was fast forwarding, and it just hurt so much. And then they told us about the cold cap, and I looked at them in disbelief, and I said, well, does it work? And they showed us a photograph of another girl.
And they being?
And
the hospital?
The hospital, yes.
doctor.
Which is?
Jersey Shore
Jersey
University,
Shore.
the pediatric oncology team, who are just absolutely wonderful. And we were just amazed at that point. And then as we continued our journey, and we went to other doctors and spoke with other pediatric oncologists, we very quickly found out that the cold cap and scalp cooling is not something that they're aware of, that it's usually used in adult patients.
And when you say that they're not aware of, they being?
The medical
doctors.
The medical doctors
Yes.
here in the U.S.
Yes.
Because this had already was being used in Europe.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, and it's fairly new to the U.S. They just got FDA clearance back in 2017, and that was for 18 years and older.
Yeah.
The problem is you're a pediatric patient right now up until 23.
Oh.
Yes.
So there's a whole section here of people that are not being addressed as far as their needs.
It's covered by insurance.
No, it's not.
It's considered cosmetic.
Losing your hair is cosmetic.
And
Okay.
for me, in today's society, especially, there's so much focus on mental health. And for somebody that has been given the diagnosis of cancer and having to go through chemo, and losing all your hair, to say that this is not affecting their mental health is ludicrous.
You know it is. That's huge.
Yes, cancer is both a physical fight and as well as a mental fight. And being able to separate your identity from the sickness that you have, it meant so much to me, and it really changed my life, honestly.
How does it work?
So, so this brain type looking thing goes on your head first, and this has the coolant inside.
Oh.
And it cools down your scalp to a specific temperature. So it constricts the blood vessels, allowing not as much chemo medication to go in and attack the hair cells itself. Because chemo medication attacks any fast reproducing hair, cells. And your hair contains a lot of them.
How does this chill?
So
Do you have to plug it in anywhere?
You plug it
Yeah.
in.
Put it in a
You do.
freezer?
You plug it in with this thing into a big, it looks like a humidifier
A
almost.
dehumidifier. It's about the size of what homes will have. And it's a mini condenser is what it is, basically.
Oh, okay.
So you plug it in, then the insulator cap goes on top to keep everything cool.
And tight to your
And
head.
yes, and you just tighten it, and
How long do you have to wear it?
So I had to wear it for a total of 5 hours.
roughly about 5
Yeah,
hours.
I gather you do this at home. You don't go
No,
out
no,
and
no,
about.
no,
Okay.
no, no. This
No.
is done when you're receiving chemo.
Yes.
Oh,
So
oh.
through
So-
the infusion
Yeah.
phase.
Okay.
So I did it before treatment for a total of 30 minutes, during my whole 3.5 hour treatment, and then for an hour and a half after treatment. So I wore the cap the whole entire time I was in the hospital, pretty much.
In our next segment, Alayna shares how much that cold cap means to her.
I had cancer and nobody told me about this. And not only are we helping the AYA, the adolescents and young adults, but I also know now of other adult patients that have used it because of Alayna's story.
I was in disbelief that something like this was an option, and not many children and people don't know about it. And I want to be able to have other people have the same feeling that I had, to be able to still see myself instead of the cancer.
Do you all have a young woman who is now using this?
We do.
Yes, we've helped,
Gosh,
well, a lot of,
almost about half a dozen now, right?
yeah, unfortunately, many children we have, well, adolescents we have helped.
It's bittersweet for us. When I got my first email, I didn't realize just how it was going to affect me, and it really, it's tough because as much as we want to help people, we also know what they're going through, and it's a lot. And
I know we're talking about the cap.
Yes.
Your chemo sessions.
Yes.
What was that like for you? And then you had have a ritual when you're done.
Yes.
Tell us about all of that.
So my chemo was difficult. My chemo days were by far the worst days. It's different for everyone though. I basically would go into a comatose state almost. I would just close my eyes. I wouldn't even be really sleeping. I just wanted to get it over with, and I would just close my eyes and just go through my chemo day. I wouldn't even wake up to talk to anyone. My mom knew as soon as it started to not talk to me, because it took a lot of strength to get through. It took a toll on me. It did.
And when you got through it, what did you do?
Oh my goodness, when I got through it, I was so happy, and I was able to ring the bell. So you ring the bell to ring out your treatment days, and that was probably one of the best moments of my life, honestly.
Shall we go ahead and show that? Go ahead and show that, because I want people to see this. It's the coolest thing ever. That's the bell?
Yes, wow, that just felt so amazing.
To Alayna to be able to look back and I didn't want her looking back and seeing this as just a negative experience. Right. I wanted her to take that experience and change it and turn it into something positive, and to be able to look back and say, look at what you've been able to achieve.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful, Elaine.
Yes,
why did you pick nursing? Because this pandemic, my mother and my sister were nurses, and this pandemic, as with teachers, has shown how important and valuable their jobs and their services are. Why did you pick this career?
So nursing has always been an interest of mine. Even before going through my journey in cancer, I've always wanted to be in the medical field. Just helping people gives me so much fulfillment, and it makes me just so happy. And being a beach lifeguard, I get a lot of experience with the medical side of things as well. This past summer, I actually was awarded a heroism ticket, award for saving someone's life.
Oh my God, what happened there?
So I had to perform CPR on someone who passed out on the boardwalk, and we all successfully revived him, and I was awarded a heroism award.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Getting cancer was either going to make it or break it for me to go into nursing, and it just made me love the field so much more and really opened my eyes to the other side of it. I was now the patient, not the administrator. Kind of in that limbo area. We're not pediatric, but we're also not adults, so they don't really know how to treat us in the medical world. So we are covering the cost of the actual Paxman and the actual cold cap treatment itself, and then we are also just spreading awareness to everyone that we can. This is something that not many patients and people know about, as well as doctors and hospital communities, and that needs to change because it is an option, and it should be an option for the people that can do it.
What kind of a cost are we talking about here?
Roughly, it caps out at about 2,200. It does also depend as well. This is not a treatment for everybody, for every cancer, nor is it a treatment for every cancer patient. You know, you do have to definitely be in the right mindset for this, and you know, that's why we're focused on adolescent and young adults. But you know, if you are, and it is an option, then I really feel like it should be provided.
Are you tested to see if you can wear this, or is it just like you said, a mental thing?
It depends on the cancer.
Yeah, it depends on the staging of your cancer and the cancer that you have. It's mostly for tumor-based cancers, but I was able to do it because Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's a blood cancer, but it settles in the lymph nodes itself, making it a tumor-based cancer.
Are you cancer-free now or in remission?
I am. I'm
Let's give you a hand.
cancer-free. Yes, thank you.
Now, the fact is, like you said, you are focusing on young people.
Yes.
Now, that void we were talking about between 18 and 23, what are you all trying to do to try to reduce that or change it? Is there anything you can do as far as legalities are concerned, with Congress, with what?
Well, we're spreading awareness. Like I said, we're going to events, as many events as possible, and just letting the general public know. I'm also working with medical personnel, and you know, this is a brand new foundation, and what we've achieved in such a short time has really been amazing.
She's been working so hard. I'm in school right now. I'm in nursing school at Monmouth University, so my plate is already full, but she's...
Oh, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. She's really taken this on, and she's been my backbone through this all, and she's really been such a big help, and she deserves all the credit in the world.
The cold cap they speak of has been in use in Europe already, and it's now here in the U.S. And of course, that's why they want to make sure that everybody is aware that option is available. You can see all of our segments with the Alayna Jayne Foundation on news12.com and my Facebook page.